So what is going on, guys? My name is Lethal and welcome to another Lethal's Takes episode. In today's episode we are going to be talking about Fortnite Chapter 2. Now before I get into the video, I don't want to apologise for this coming out a bit later on in the day rather than it being at the scheduled 12 o'clock purely. I've been really busy the last couple of days, just been caught up with some things, and been mainly just grinding a couple of games and have kind of had the footage ready and everything good to go. It's just I just completely forgot to upload it. I'll be completely honest. So I'm sorry for this coming a bit later. Monday's video was alright, and Friday's video will also come out at 12. It's just this one today is kind of a freak occurrence. But anyway, today's subject matter, as I just said, is going to be discussing Fortnite Chapter 2. I'm going to give you my thoughts on everything to do with the game and overall what I think of this latest move by Epic and regarding Fortnite. So let's start off with the black hole, the end of chapter 1 and season 10. They really, I know I've bashed Fortnite in the past and bashed Epic especially, but I truly believe that I truly think they knocked the event out the park. The fact that they created so much suspense and they had so much radio silence on it, they didn't say anything when the black hole appeared. They kept everybody on suspense for 2 days. I think, yeah, 3 days, and it broke records. Had I think 1.6 million reoccurring viewers on Twitch. It had absolutely tons of people talking about it. It was trending on Twitter for 2 days, and overall they made the hype that they needed. And this, in my opinion, was very much they needed to do that for Fortnite to become not relevant again, but because to reach the peak that it did when it was what arguably the biggest game, or was the biggest, still is the biggest game in the world, but when it was at that massive height, when everybody of all different social medias and different industries was talking about it. So they did that. They created a load of hype. They created a lot of people talking about it, and they followed it up with a pretty decent season. As I say, I know I usually bash Fortnite, but I will be honest with you guys. I'm pretty impressed. I am a lot more impressed with the start of Chapter 2 than I have been in the last 3 or 4 seasons. I think Epic have taken on board what the community said. They've adapted. They have added some new things, took away a lot of things, which the only issue, which I'll get onto a bit later, is mobility. But overall, they they have done an extremely good job. So let's break down some of the things they changed. Obviously, the major one this season is the map. I think the map is sick. I think the fact that this map is um I guess so different, you can say, to other maps, or to the old map. It reminds me of very much old school Fortnite, and what I mean by that is the old map, in my opinion, was too cluttered when it came to season 10. The map just didn't look aesthetically appealing, and it just was a bit all over the place. You had like 3 or 4 different biomes, and in my opinion, it just didn't work. This one is back to basics. It reminds me of old school season 4 or season 3, season 4 Fortnite. That's where personally I have my most fun, and I'm extremely glad to see the map become or be the way it is. The fact that they have kept places like Retail Road, like Pleasant Park, then also my personal favourite from out any season has always been Risky Roads. I'm glad to see it's back. Not obviously named, but it is not named on the map. But if you go into it, it does say Risky Roads, and it's pretty sick to see that. And I think the new places are pretty awesome as well. They've definitely created some pretty cool and unique places. So overall, I think the map, if I had to give it a 10, give it a score out of 10, I would say it's definitely a 9, 9.5, possibly creeping on the 10, depending on the day you ask me. So now let's talk about the weapons, which I kind of mentioned earlier. They got rid of a hell of a lot of weapons. They kind of the weapon pool at the minute is very small, and I like that. I like the fact that there's only a certain amount of things that you can use in this game. I felt like the old chapter and towards the end of season 10, just we had too much stuff, and there was just too much BS stuff that could kill you. Now, cutting back on it, they have done a pretty good job. The only issue I found is the shotguns. The Grey Tac seem to be the best shotgun in the game, and the most consistent. But with all these like bad things I do say about it, I know that they will fix them in time. This is obviously the game. It literally came out yesterday, or the season came out yesterday. So I know there's going to be a lot of hot fixes, and they're going to fix a lot of things. So I'm not too worried about half these issues. Half these issues will be taken care of in time. But let's talk about boats, the newest addition to the movement. This is the only really big mobility. They got rid of launch pads and a lot of the moving items that would get you from A to B. Boats are awesome in my opinion. I do like them. They obviously shoot the one rocket, which can be a bit of a pain, but they are pretty cool. The only issue I've got with them is you can drive them on land pretty well. So hopefully in time Epic do decide to change that because I don't want to be running with my teammates to see a boat come driving down the highway and me thinking, what the hell is that doing there? But as I say, I know in time they will change that and that will probably be fixed. But I do like the fact that we've gone back to basics. We've gone back to the boats being the main movability. I would like to see a couple more added. However, I'm not too worried at this time. So, as per usual, I've always been a massive fan of the Fortnite skins. I think the skins, emotes, the Battle Pass is pretty sick. I like the new high five emote. That has been one of my favorites. I've been running around in lobbies high fiving people. I think that's excuse me. I think that's an epic one to have, no pun intended. I also think the pogo stick one, which is gonna be probably my favorite. I absolutely adore that one. I think it's awesome. So that uh, with that being said, I think I've pretty much covered every single basis. Now to summarize, if I'm Epic right now, and if I'm a fan of Fortnite, I think the future for Fortnite is extremely bright. You did everything you wanted to do when it came to this event. You created the hype. You got a lot of people playing. You got a lot of people watching. You got the hype around the game that you needed. And they, as I say, in my opinion, they knocked out the park with this event. You've got a lot of people back, and you've got a lot of people coming back and enjoying the game, which is the most important thing. So, the issue, or the only thing that worries me is Epic themselves. You've nailed this bit. You've nailed the start of chapter 2. Now you can't mess it up. You can't go and do what you did towards the end of season 1 or chapter 1, where you started making these ridiculous changes that didn't need to be made. You have to continue on your course. Make sure that the storyline you have is solid. Make sure the changes you make are universally agreed by the community. What I mean by that is you talk to the pros, you talk to just regular players. You heck do surveys and find out what people would like to see, and then go off the majority. But if they don't screw it up and they don't do any rash changes without properly implementing a chance to test these changes, I think Chapter 2 is going to be an insane year for Fortnite. I think Chapter 1 is a bit like the first chapter, in my opinion. The start of the chapter was really good, and then towards the end, it didn't go so great. Chapter 2 has been a massive bang, and I hope that it can continue. So, guys, this has been Lethal Take. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great day.